group is growing leaps and bounds year on year. A symbol of resilience, but also a symbol of confidence. A symbol of a company rooted in tradition, but a mindset which is more modern than the most modern. High family traditions and value systems, 5 generations living and working together. I say all this, friends, because they did not only take part in the freedom struggle, they were a big votary of Swadeshi. They gave their wealth in charity, even when it was not compulsory to do so under the Companies Act. And for them, they always believed that the common good prevails over individual good. And that, friends, has been a theme that I've shared with all of you on every occasion that I have come and addressed, whether CII, any other association, any sectoral association. And I would urge you to look back at the common theme that the Modi government and all of us, part of his team, have consistently maintained over the last 12 years. How many times from this podium have I expressed that Indian industry must learn to support each other? Look at the Korean style, look at the Japanese way of working. How long are we going to be so myopic in our view that we don't recognize that the common good of Indian industry will help our individual future also, will be good for us individually also? That lesson is now no more a suggestion, it's becoming an imperative. It doesn't need governments to stop Indian steel from going to Korea or Japan. Industry makes sure that they support each other. And if I recall some of my comments made at different podiums to all of you, I would like to just highlight 3 or 4 to show you the commonality of thread in the thinking of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and this government. Soon after a cabinet meeting, I was addressing the media on 17th May 2017, 9 years ago. And I said, and I quote, under Prime Minister Modi, we are looking to make India self-reliant in terms of power requirement, along with providing carbon-free sources of power, thus improving India's position globally, unquote. I was addressing the Economic Times Awards on 1st December 2019 into our second term, when I said, our government is happy to carry the Swadeshi tag. We believe that our self-reliance, our self-sufficiency, and our self-confidence is going to determine the future of India and the future of the people of India. Speaking at the CII celebration of 75 years, on 8th August 2020, during COVID, I had said, reinforcing the Prime Minister's launch of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat can only succeed when you and I put in equal effort, when you and I believe in ourselves and in each other, when you and I go from a position of confidence and strength, and that is what, in a way, the Prime Minister had said when he launched Atmanirbhar Bharat. It would have to be a collective action. All of us are in it together. It cannot be the government versus the industry. It is the government and business and industry and the people of India. In fact, I gave one budget in 2019, that interim budget. If I remember correctly, I had ended by saying this, that when 120 crore Indians, at that time it was 120 crores, when 120 crore Indians take one step forward, the nation will move 120 crore steps forward. In fact, in the same event on VC on 8th August 2020, I had said Atmanirbhar Bharat is not just a slogan. It should become the mission of our lives. And friends, when I was addressing the India at 75 summit of CII on 12th August 2021, I had mentioned a theme which I have spoken umpteen number of times. Our aim is to make brand India a flag bearer of quality, productivity, talent, and innovation. Now, these 5 comments, all of them made years ago, is what the Prime Minister said day before yesterday. It is only the need of the hour that we've got to strengthen the India spirit. The global situation is well known to all of us. We are all conscious of geopolitical challenges. What we need today is a wake-up call. And what the Honorable Prime Minister has attempted to do is to guide us that it cannot be business as usual. And India has always performed best during times of adversity. Very often we joke amongst ourselves that the best out of you and me comes out when there's a problem. And we convert every crisis into an opportunity. There could be all sorts of issues that we are confronted with. But I don't think any of us has ever buckled under any pressure. Any of us has ever given up when we face any challenges. And that's the story of India. I mean, the world today, with a fragmented geopolitical and business situation, is facing a crisis every day. But look at the India story within this crisis. Our economy remains robust, very strong fundamentals. The IMF says if you have 8 to 12 months of foreign exchange reserves to cover your imports, you are considered in a very strong position. We have 11 months cover on our imports, 11 months. We've had a record year in exports. We've exported, the final figure will be out in a couple of days, but roughly $863 billion, which is an all-time high, $863 billion of exports. And our trade deficit, goods and services together, is less than our annual remittances, much less than our remittances. And remittances is today's trade. In this changing world, you must be reading about our FTAs also having a serious, strong element of mobility partnerships. Because trade today also includes people movement. The number of people working in the Gulf alone has crossed 10 million. Or if you want to go even into finer detail, the number of people working in UAE alone has grown from 1.8 million to 4.5 million in the last 12, 13 years. This is all business that they're going there for. This is all service that India is providing to the world. And with such a strong situation, should we not become more ambitious and plan for a brighter future? Come to think of it, some of you may recall, 5th January 2015, the Honorable Prime Minister of India launched Ujjwala. We've just had the Ujjwala Mantri leave. Dharmendra Pradhan was Petroleum Minister when Ujjwala was launched. That is the cooking gas connections to every household in the country. I had launched Ujjwala, the LED lighting program, 5th January 2015. Was there a crisis at that point of time? Did anybody start wondering, oh my God, what's the problem? Why is the Prime Minister launching an energy-saving LED bulb? Do we have a power shortage? Are we going to run out of power? Did any of you think of that? Or did you recognize the economic strength that energy efficiency brings to the table? How we've been able to save probably $10 billion of energy bills every year, year on year, for our consumers. And of course, in the process, save electricity consumption, particularly during peak hours, when it's most essential, and thereby help the environment. It was a sustainability come efficiency program, done with zero cost to the government. People-led movement. All of you adopted it in your companies. The people of India adopted it in their homes. Everybody benefited. Show me one person who didn't benefit from that. When you run your factories, and if some of you may be using furnace oil, I started my career with a small forge shop. Very, very small, Amit. Don't even... But I needed furnace oil for my furnaces 40 years ago. And there were two ways. I could let my furnace use the same nozzle for maybe 2 months and not replace it, which would keep guzzling more and more furnace oil. Or I had to give it a shutdown, let it cool, replace the nozzle frequently, because the furnace oil nozzle tends to expand with usage and passage of furnace oil, which is in any case a pretty rough fuel. But when we did the maths, it was a no-brainer. The saving in furnace oil was far greater than the cost of that nozzle, which was barely a few hundred rupees, I think. And I mean, we all use cars. Fuel injection systems, don't they have the nozzle? If smartly maintained, can you imagine how much furnace oil, how much petrol or diesel we can save? How many of us bother about it? I don't know. Maybe you all do. You're very smart, you're very conscious, or maybe you're too rich to bother about it. I'm just sharing these thoughts to bring to your attention how small actions collectively by 1.4 billion people can have transformational results. And it's a time, it's a wake-up call, it's a call to action in every walk of life. I think only last year at the same stage, I had shared with you how the late Piyush Pandey, somebody I've looked up to all my life as the finest creative advertising person that I've met in my life, had gifted me 2 films when I launched Ujala. He made it himself. And very simple things. There's a bunch of kids at home who are going and in a way cautioning their parents about switching off the air conditioner when they leave the room, switching off the light bulb or the fan bulb, not keeping the car air conditioner on for 20 minutes before you come down to sit in the car. Small interventions, big results. It's really about efficiency, better productivity, a consciousness that we all need to wake up to. Sustainability is all about saving waste. And all that we are saying is save that waste. It'll help you. It'll help the country. And I think looking at while the businesses around the world, one can clearly see that while the world is facing so many uncertainties, India continues to be an outlier. We continue to show resilience. We continue to be confident, continue to be the fastest growing large economy. Prime Minister had articulated very beautifully when he said, when the world talks about slowdown, India writes stories of growth. When the world faces a trust crisis, India becomes a pillar of trust. And that is all of you. And this strength is not accidental. This strength comes from a decade of reform. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, you've elected him thrice as the Prime Minister of the country. In October, he will be the longest serving, he's actually the longest serving head of government between the state and center. And in October, he'll complete 25 years, first as Chief Minister and then as Prime Minister, uninterrupted. 25 years as head of state and then head of government in the center. But you've all trusted him. A mandate you've repeatedly reinforced even in state elections. I suddenly found all our friends from West Bengal have a voice. And more attendance at this summit than ever before. So next time Rajiv, when he goes to audit a company in West Bengal, will not have to be worried about getting arrested for some comment he may have made in Delhi. Friends, this doctrine of Atmanirbharta, this doctrine of self-reliance, our confidence in ourselves has not changed. It's been our consistent stand, and year after year, we have tried to bring in programs to encourage this. We have tried to